Hey, it's Kevin Lawn with the New Warehouse podcast here at MODEX 2022, and we are in the booth. I am joined by Michael Hansen, and he is the CEO of ROEQ. And ROEQ provides robotic equipment, which ROEQ is short for. So we've talked to somebody from ROEQ in the past, which we did hear a little bit of the story of ROEQ, but we actually have Michael here, who is kind of the one that created the company and really came up with some of the ideas that led to the spin-off of creating ROEQ overall. So Michael, welcome to the show, welcome to the booth. Why don't you give us a little bit of your version of the story of how kind of ROEQ came to be?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me here. Yeah, the background for starting ROEQ was I was working for MIA in the past and saw big opportunities for making standard equipment for mobile robots. At that time, there was a lot of customized solutions that was, I would say, lacking quality. And that started the idea about making more standardized mobile robotic equipment.
Okay, and then so it's been built kind of on this MIR platform. Obviously, that's where you started. So talk to us a little bit about kind of some of the offerings that are out there, and what might be some examples that people may see or may be familiar with.
One of the first things I will say is the conveyor systems. When we started out making conveyor systems, we saw problems for these systems engaging with the stationary conveyor. So our mobile conveyors, when they get to the unloading point, then we saw the Wi-Fi lagging and other kind of problems. Also safety, if you have e-stop on one side, there was some delay and so. So we choose to take care of the full solution somehow by making a GuardCom system.
Okay.
And that changed quite a lot in respect to be able to selling these top rollers, because it was much easier for our integrators to now implement them.
Right. Okay. All right. Very interesting. And I think we talked about that on the podcast previously about the robot actually being able to easily connect up with the conveyor system to then transfer goods over to the robot, and then just kind of link up with another conveyor system essentially and pass it off, which I think gives you extreme flexibility. It doesn't necessarily structurally tie you in as much as a standard conveyor system would. So it's a very interesting kind of accessory and attachment to these robots. So here at MODEX, obviously we're seeing a lot of more interest in robotics from end users and customers who are seeing that they're they need to get some type of automation, some type of robot in place, and a lot have already done that based on the pandemic and all the changes in the kind of consumer behavior and the environment overall. So are you seeing that there are more customers coming to ROEQ or maybe MIR, and then MIR's coming to you guys, kind of looking for different type of accessories or attachments for the robots to be able to accommodate their specific applications?
I definitely see increased interest in us from, of course, distributors of MIR, but also other EMR brands. So there is, here past pandemic, more interest, absolutely. So that's also why we are during this year introducing our top modules for 2 new robot types coming forth. Yeah.
All right, and then the other accessory that you guys are offering as well, we talked about the conveyor type of attachment, but you also have come out with recently something that takes the standard MIR base, right, and then increases the actual payload that you get from it. So talk to us a little bit about that and how that idea kind of came about.
Yeah, obviously a lot of customers are constantly pushing for being able to carry higher payloads.
Right.
And during the 5 years that we have been within this mobile robotic equipment area, we have gained a lot of knowledge about how to increase payload, basically.
Okay.
So I think we are in a good place there now where we are able to carry 500 kilos with the MIA 250. Mm-hmm. We are able to carry 800 kilos with the MIA 600 and 1500 kilos with the MIA 1350. And that is basically due to a big focus on ensuring that the carts are really easy to maneuver. A big focus on having good traction, because that's the key when you want to drive around with cart systems.
Yeah, and I think that's a huge thing, because you essentially take a standard lower payload robot, and then you're able to utilize it even more effectively. So I imagine in that aspect you're able to kind of trade off to some businesses a cost savings there, a lower investment, right, in the robot itself. Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And another big thing here is that especially for the MIA 250, you are able to drive in more narrow spaces, and now you can drive with 500 kilos there. Normally you should go up to a bigger robot to do that.
So there's more footprint, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So narrow spaces is also a really common thing we hear about that gives them problems out there implementing AMRs.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I mean, I think it's pretty genius idea as well. I didn't even think about the more narrow space, but now that you mention it, I mean, that makes total sense that you can use because once you start to increase the payload of the actual robot, the size of the robot increases as well. So being able to keep that narrow space and get more product through whatever that area is, maybe it's narrow aisle racking or something of that nature, is really definitely a step forward, and definitely innovative thinking on your end as well. Yeah. So we're here at MODEX. What else are you guys showing here at MODEX?
What we are showing at MODEX is the MIA 500 with the big cart system. Okay. We are presenting TML 200, a product that we launched the end of last year, and where we are really expecting a lot of sales going forward on that platform, because that's really flexible platform where we're able to attach a lot of different things on top and move pallets, cradles, these kind of things. So that's what we are showing here. One of the things that during the pandemic, I would say, also has been really somehow clear for us is that we are moving towards even more integrated solutions. So some of the things that we don't have it here, but we are working with from now is somehow to integrate barcode scanners, RFID readers, and these kind of things, and being able to somehow supply these data for overall software system as ERP or VMS or like.
Yeah, definitely, and I think getting that data to flow is certainly an important thing. So as you've been here at MODEX and you're showing these things in your booth, what has kind of been the interest from attendees and visitors to your booth? What have they really been kind of interested in or asking about?
I would say two systems that has been well observed by the people going by has been the GuardCom system, and that is going on our booth with a TR 125. Right. And then the big payload, the maximum payload of 1500 kilos, people has been limited today to about 1200 kilos, and of course some is lacking these extra kilos. So that has been the two major things we've been hearing.
Interesting. Okay, that's good to know, and it's interesting to see, I guess, where people's heads are at as well from getting that kind of feedback. So now you've kind of exclusively been, and obviously your roots are with MiR, right? So you've been exclusively kind of making these extensions of MiR robots for some time now. But I hear that that may be expanding a little bit. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, of course we have been over the years seen a lot of other AMRs coming forth. Right. And this trend has just been massive, I would say, within the last 2 years. A lot of new AMR brands are coming forth, and so of course we have been thinking about what role should we play in that regards, and so we have been having dialogues, of course, during the last year, and are now working on two really interesting projects. So I would say for us, we have tried, during the last 2 years also to position us as mobile robotic equipment providers. What has of course been focusing on MIA, but we have always known that it is a somehow expandable product that we have.
Right.
So what we need, of course, is just somehow to make an interface adaptation kit somehow to be able to attach to other robots.
Okay, and we'll definitely be interested to hear about who those companies may be in the future. I know you can't say now, I know that, so I won't push you there. But yeah, definitely very interesting to hear about ROEQ and what you guys are up to here at MODEX, and also great to hear that you're expanding out to other robotic providers as well. So we'd be very interested to hear about that in the future. So Michael, I want to thank you so much for coming by the booth today and talking to me. If people want to find out more information about ROEQ, how can they do that?
They can find it on www.roeq.dk. That's where we have a lot of links for animation films and everything. You need to get to know us better.
Okay, great. And we'll put all the information at thenewarehouse.com as well. So Michael, thank you once again for coming by the booth, and enjoy the rest of your show.
Thank you very much.